And here we go. Of course, Lucy's timing.
Hmm?
And welcome everyone to the Mechanics Institute for this round 1 and 2 of the May 2021 Tuesday night marathon. I'm Abel Talamantes, chess director at the Mechanics Institute, and joining me is the Chief TD, Mechanics Institute General Manager of Youth Outreach and Events, Judith Starry, and our Grandmaster in Residence, Nick DeFermian. Hello, everyone, and this May 2021 TNM is our final online TNM after more than a year. But starting June the 1st, we will be back live for the Tuesday night marathons at the Mechanics Institute. The Felix German Memorial Tuesday night marathon. We'll talk a little bit about that, but it's funny because we were thinking about, we can't wait till live chess comes back, and of course that remains true. But now that we know this is the final online TNM, now it's like, I'm gonna kind of miss it a little bit.
Well, we're still going to have the Thursday night marathons online, so whoever is missing it can join us on Thursdays, right?
That's right. There's still always a place for online chess, and that is right. Our Thursday night marathon will continue online, and we'll still have other online events. We'll still do our arenas. We'll have some like blitz and some weekend events too, and all that. So online will always be a presence at Mechanics. But what do you think of that, Nick? Live chess?
Well, it's terrific. I'm so glad to see it back.
Good for the soul.
Online Tuesday night marathon has been a wonderful mainstay, and I guess we won't see it until the next pandemic 100 years from now.
Well, yeah, and there'll be a new group of people to navigate those waters if we can get to another over 100 years.
I'm counting on Judith to be there for that.
Oh, I don't want to.
She probably will, and she'll solve the problem, no doubt about it. So here we are with our Board 1 Grandmaster and many times Tuesday Night Marathon online champion Gadir Guseynov taking on Chelsea. And what do you think of the position?
Okay, so first count the pawns, count the pieces. And 2 pieces for a rook and a pawn. Well, Gadir is just in a great situation.
And Gadir barely under 30 minutes. Very economical with his time. And let's take a look at Board 2 with Jeffrey Wang playing white against FIDE master Kyron Griffith.
So just to let it sink in, the winner of the Tuesday night marathon, which has been the case, month after month for the last year, has been Gadir, but being live, he's got a long trip to come from Baku.
It's going to be a challenge for him to defend his title, that is for sure. But Kyron Griffith certainly would be one to challenge for the June title.
Yeah, and I hope he will be able to attend. I know a lot of tournaments are starting up in June, so I don't know if he's planning on visiting Charlotte again for another Norm tournament. I think they are going to have Norm tournaments as well as the National Open will be on the third week in June. I think even the long schedule starts only on Wednesday, so you can still play on Tuesday evening and then make it to Vegas. So.
And you'll be able to earn norms just for all the players they'll have in that open section.
Yeah. I think they have more than 100 players now, or around 100 players in the open section. Yeah. So it's very impressive.
Open section alone, yeah.
Yeah.
And another player that may be at the National Open, Judith may know, is FIDE master Eric Lee. Here playing Lightning Dragon, which is Ethan Goal. And white looks on the hunt here.
Yeah, but I mean, again, like black didn't use up a lot of time, right?
Yes. And you know, this is sort of like bewildering, right? Because, you know, it's a strong player, right? But you know you're playing Eric Lee. You know he's, like, very strong. Like,
Yeah.
why do you have 30 minutes on your clock still? It's like... and like Eric Lee's the one that's actually, you know, really given some thought, and his position looks like he's been giving thought.
Yes.
All right.
So, meanwhile, Ethan's son scored a win against Charvy. That was sort of expected in the under 1800, but really great to see both Charvy and Ethan playing in our tournament. So thank you guys for showing up. And I have to give kudos to all the players this round. Round one is always a little bit harder. We have those few who haven't played in a while or something, or new one, but almost everyone was online. There was one player I had to send a text, but by the time I sent the text, they were already online. So thank you guys for making my life so easy. And I'm bored, but that's good. I want to be bored.
You want to be bored?
Yeah.
For a
tournament? Yeah, absolutely. I don't want to be.
I don't know if a lot of people believe that.
During the tournament, I would say.
Oh, during the tournament. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
that makes
during
sense.
The tournament.
So here is where your idea of having their names on the screen betrays you, because Max Howe is well aware of this. So, you know, he populates the name with who knows what it's going to be week to week. But Elliot Winslow looks in control here, so I think we'll be able to move on.
Yeah, and for the viewers, a technical detail. So when we start the matches, we have the ability to include a little command there that pushes up the name in the full profile to the screen. So you guys don't see E. Winslow or what's Chelsea's MWNCKL men. That's Chelsea's username. But you would actually see Chelsea if she would populate her full profile, obviously. And so it's just a kind of a little bit easier for you guys, for us, and for the spectators to recognize the players and watch the game.
And thank you, SF Deals. We got a pyramid. See, I'm still not familiar with the nomenclature of what the pyramids and the diamonds. Is that like Bitcoin or Dogecoin? Probably not as valuable as that. I don't even know what I'm talking about. What do you think of this game, Nick? This is FIDE Master Max Kidazlovic taking on Sanjeev Anand.
Oh, you know, the Black King side looks a little loose there. It's can't you just take twice on F5 and it's quite loose. So looking good for Max.
Hey, Alexi, and yeah, I've not even mentioned. Paul was feeling a little ill today, so we gave him the opportunity off. So we're gonna let
under the weather.
Judith's expertise.
I'm definitely not filling in
event management. We'll fill the hole.
I'm the camera filler.
Judith's expertise in event management is filling it in.
Okay.
Do you know if you get 1 bit Twitch rewards with 1 cent? Like, I feel bad because, like, I don't understand how this monetary system works with the cheerleading and all of that.
Sorry about that. Live TV.
Live TV.
Indeed, right?
Hey, Alexi. Yeah, I mean, it makes it fun, right?
Yeah.
So look at
I
this
know.
position with Eric Hahn, National Master, Micro Bear against Philip Gerstoft.
That white king is way to the side, and you're wondering, can something bad happen to it?
That is in the corner.
Yeah, fortunately, just one night that's really troubling it for the moment. But
And thanks, Eric, for registering in time. I know sometimes you join like round 1 or round 2 late, so I was really happy to see your registration, and I knew that you're gonna be playing from round 1, which is always good to have you. So.
And let me just do a check-in on board 1 as I look up some other
So
games.
SFDL's finished his game early, so he's hanging out with us.
And
I can see that.
Thank you for the 2 ducks.
Yeah.
We got to get more educated on what all these are. Because it's like you build up like a reserve of like cheers and characters, and you can use them, right, as you want. It's like credits. Like when you're watching Starfleet, where people deal with credits, like you get credits. And then Moobot is like the Twitch bot.
Twitch bot.
It's like the
that
AI.
Screens out the bad words, and
like
hopefully
the Twitch AI
right, filters out the bad words.
Usually does a good job too.
Usually, so, and also screens, I think, filters out the websites URLs so that you don't self-advertise and things like that.
Yes.
We certainly could be a little bit more educated on Twitch technology and the usefulness of these, but yeah, I know that you already won. Yeah, you were one of the. I think you were the second game to finish. So
let's take a look at Mike Walder.
Mike Walder, he's facing Pranav, right? Pranav Satish. So
Pranav Satish, that is correct. And wow, and Austin Mai is playing the tournament too. Well, take a look at that game next. What do you think of Mike Walder's position here?
yeah, I mean, it looks active, but he's a pawn down, so that's pretty good. It's, you need to somehow win your pawn back and then do something else to win the game. You've got a lot of squares with those 2 bishops. Black seems fine.
and meanwhile, do you guys remember Charles James?
Yeah.
He hasn't played for a few months, I think, online. It's been a while, if I'm correct. I have to look it up, but I was also really happy to see his registration, and he just won his game. So good job, Charles, and we can't wait to see you over the board. Hopefully, you're doing well.
Oh,
He's been on the chess cafe and in the MCO class, and he's been
nice.
for 40 years at Mechanics Online. So I expect you'll see him, and when the club opens up.
Yeah, but I mean, he hasn't played a single USCF rated tournament since last February. So it's funny. I found it funny when I clicked on his history. I said, seriously, this is the first USCF rated tournament he entered during the pandemic, and now we are back. So I think it's good, though.
He was waiting it out. He was waiting it out.
Yeah, he's waiting it out. Maybe he feels strong after the Modern Chess opening now.
That's true too, huh?
Practice it, right?
You've like built him up, Nick, and you got him confident.
Well, he probably just likes the online play better, and you will. This is why I love the club opening up. You'll see all our favorite club members come back. That'll be thrilling.
And here we have National Master Michael Wang taking on Sauce Jacobian, Sacrifice and Crush. Sauce was in the arena. Very happy to hear about the return of live play at Mechanics.
Yeah.
So we will announce when registration will be open for the next TNM live. It'll be a few days, but as soon as we have that, we will announce it, and then we will have to have a cap on the number. It'll probably be around 50 or so, maybe a little bit less. But
use multiple rooms. So
yeah, and
we're gonna use the main room. We're gonna use the meeting room, socially distanced and together. That
maybe we could even open the window and use that outdoor section in the chess room.
Yeah, sure.
Put a white table out there.
You want to actually type that in the chat, since Alexi's asking when is live play coming back, and everyone can just read the
live play. Ethan, live play is over the board play. Live chess, in-person chess, where you can actually touch the piece and why not shake hands? I don't think we're gonna go that far to allow people to shake hands, but at least you can play real over the board chess against.
I remember. There might be some people that forgot what that even is. Playing live over the board.
Yeah, but like, will we allow handshakes?
Lex is in the chat basically saying I got dibs on a TNM spot. You're informally signing up, so you're calling dibs.
Yeah, who's Lex? Which two? I can't remember.
That's Hubert's.
Hubert's, yeah. Okay, so Vedant won against Kalen. It's a little bit of upset, right?
Who against who? Oh, Vedant?
Vedant.
Vedant, yeah, he's capable. He's
getting stronger.
He can play. Yeah, the kids can play. Here we have Kevin Fong playing white, chess appeals against the always tough Austin Mai, who tied for third at the Schutt Brandwine Jay Whitehead Memorial with Jules Jelinek. What do you think?
Austin is tough. He looks very good here. Could probably play just pawn to f5.
Yeah.
But yeah, he played great, and it was great to see Jules Jelinek back in his usual spot in a rapid blitz event.
Yes, Alexei, he missed the arena too, and then I played my traditional one game and lost, although I put up a little bit of a fight against Dr. Banner. So yeah, Paul's a little ill today, under the weather, so we let him rest. Eric Lee has gotten the win in his game, so he will cruise to the second round.
Yeah, and Jonah Bush and Giorgio, that's a little bit of upset too. Both the last two boards. So, interesting.
Oh, Solias, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't have that game up. Yeah.
Well, just to answer Alexei, I was so happy to have Abel there, fighting with us. But Alexei, you should join us in the arena too. If you don't play, you could,
She should join the arena. You should play a game. You should play one game in the arena. And are we looking at the end coming soon?
What's that?
Are we looking at the end coming soon here in Chelsea's game?
Yeah.
That's going to be tough.
It's definitely bad.
can you take on F6?
I don't quite see a mate then. Clearly winning for
wow, and she's under 10 seconds.
Typical Gadir. He doesn't even try to look for mate in 12. Just
just get it done.
Make sure it's a winning position. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yep. And too much going on for her to navigate, so Gadir gets the win in the first round. On to board 2 in this game, Jeffrey Wang and Kyron Griffith. And thank you everyone for tuning in for round 1 of the TNM. And in the chat, I'll put the event page so you can see the pairings, who's playing. You can check it out. Max Kidazlovic gets the win against Sanjeev Anand. Here is the final position. Mate is coming with Queen E7 after King E8. So nice job by Max. Max the Axe. Wow, look at this game with Microbear and Philip Gerstoff. White's king still on A3, and Eric coming from all sides here.
Oh, this is great. I love to see attacks when the queens are off the board.
Yeah.
So, how can black break through? Maybe certainly knight takes A2 right here. Yeah, it looks tough for the white side.
And if anyone's watching on the broadcast, if you have any questions about opening plans, or we're not seeing into the future yet beyond June, but if you have some thoughts or ideas or want to ask any questions, just put it in the chat and we'll talk about it. You got the right 2 people here to discuss ideas.
And if you guys watch and
the Chess Dojo.
On,
thank you to the
thank you. Wow, yeah, 108.
Thank you for the raid. So everyone from the Chess Dojo, you're watching round 1 of the Tuesday night marathon at the Mechanics Institute. And if you have not done so already, look under the board there and click the purple follow button and follow the Mechanics Institute. And big fans of Chess Dojo with our good friend Kostya Kavutsky and David Pruis and the whole crew there. So thank you for the raid. And thank you for the follows.
Wow, and our little star working.
Yeah, we got our little, sound effects. We got our And actually, people are rating at a pretty good and exciting position, so it makes it look like Mechanics Institute has like exciting games. Got all the action.
Oh yeah, well these games have as much action as the top games of the world. Maybe a couple more mistakes, but as much action.
And speaking of action, let's go back to the game between Kyron Griffith and Jeffrey Wang. Thank you everyone for...
And so for those who are new to here, Mechanics Institute has a historic tournament on Tuesday night marathon. It is 1 game every Tuesday, and 7, 8, or 9 rounds depending on. And we had this over the board, and every Tuesday we had 120 players at Mechanics.
Live.
And since the pandemic shut down everything, we transitioned this tournament, reshaped it a little bit. We have 2 rounds each night. One is at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time and 8 p.m. The time control is gaining 35 plus 2 seconds. So 2 seconds should be enough to quickly move your piece and not run out of time, hopefully.
Hopefully.
And 35 minutes makes it a good time control that we have really interesting and quality games, but we can squeeze in 2 games. And we usually keep the Tuesday night marathon onlines within 1 month. So this is round 1. We just started, and we are going to have 2 more Tuesdays. So anyone wants to join us, it's not too late. I can actually even pair you guys for round 2 at 8 p.m.
She can do it. She can turn it around quick.
Yeah, so if you want to register, and I will know your chess.com name, and I'll put you in with a half-point buy, or next week with 2 half-point buys, and play with these amazing club players we have.
And Eric Kahn, what do you think? Is this still a blistering attack, or
he's at least going to win a pawn and technically win the end game. But can he find some way to get a mate out of this? Probably not against best defense.
And you're looking at the staff of the Mechanics Institute right here with Grandmaster in Residence Nick DeFermian, me, and Judith. And our other staff member is Paul Whitehead, who's a little under the weather. He would usually be here on the broadcast. But
I don't remember he's ever missed a broadcast over the year.
No, this is his first time, and he actually said that when he talked to me. He's like, "Oh, this is my first time." I'm like, "Yeah, it's first
we
time
missed
for
you,
everything."
Paul. We hope you feel better soon.
Oh yeah, and I talked to him, so he's totally fine. He just wanted a little break. He's definitely fine. It's nothing serious like whatsoever. So no need to worry.
I'm not worried. I'm just
in the chat, Arthur Braden is like, "Is Paul doing okay?"
Oh, I see. I was just relaying the, concerned friend. Michael Wang scored against us.
Yeah. That was a tough one for Sos, though. I mean, that's...
Yeah, it is. So. And he actually won the under section last month. So seeing him playing up, it's an exciting opportunity for him. So definitely makes it very interesting.
And Eric Hahn gets it done, gets the win. And here's National Master Mike Walder in his game. Taking on Pranav Satish.
That's a tough pairing for the first round there.
It looks like he got that pawn back, though.
He got the pawn back slightly better now. But still, material's even.
Yeah, and he's down on time, like 5, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully that's still well enough time to make this decisive. Okay, so our late player drew the match. I don't know why I said that.
You're like experimenting with accents.
Oh yeah. I was telling Reka that I think British English. Nick, did you pick up any accent when you were living in Europe?
Well, each country speaks a little differently.
Yeah.
And Judith's daughter headed to Oxford University this summer.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
And I'm scared, like, she's going to pick up this British English.
Let's see how she talks when she...
Yeah, no, I think within a few weeks she's going to do that. So, I know when I used to work with British accent people, and I picked up just by talking to them. Even here in the US, I have colleagues from the UK, and it is very, very interesting.
Look at this attack by Kyron Griffith here.
Oh my God.
On Jeffrey Wang.
How did those black pieces get so active?
Well, when a FIDE master is using the pieces like Kyron Griffith, then they seem to activate themselves somehow, some way.
Thank you for the follow, guys.
Yeah, thanks for following. And the thing is that by following us and this online event, even when we do our live Tuesday night marathon event that will start in June, we're going to be broadcasting that as well. So you get to partake in our online activities as well as our live activities at the Mechanics Institute. And for those that have just recently joined, the Mechanics Institute will be open for live over-the-board play starting June 1st with our Felix German Memorial Tuesday Night Marathon. That will be live in person, and we will broadcast it. So we're very excited about that, and we are excited to have live chess back at Mechanics.
And I feel it's very fitting to name the Tuesday Night Marathon after Felix. Felix was a good friend, a vivid chess player. He would never miss a round, and he would always come passionately and play his game and go over after the games in the skill room. And he also played a lot of online chess with us during the pandemic. So we all miss Felix, and hopefully we can celebrate his life and his chess passion with this tournament.
And Nick and I were talking about it in the arena, that passionate was the word to describe. I mean, loved his chess, loved playing, like just a true lover of the game. And and left us far too soon, and amidst the pandemic. So we definitely thought it would be fitting to name an event in his memorial.
Our club members, it's like a little family, and so and Felix was, he was so involved.
Yeah, very involved. Even when he did like simul's, he was always everyone we've had at Mechanics for a simul, Jeffries Young and Mamedjarov and Mamedov, he came out and played them all. So loved it. He was actually beating Jeffries Young. Was up 2 pawns, offered him a draw. Jeffrey declined it. Felix was upset that he declined it, and then he went on to lose. So, but that's what a grandmaster will do to you.
I think Felix felt a bit compelled to play quickly when there was nobody left, and Jeffrey was coming around, every minute or something.
Yeah. And Kyron going to put the finishing touches very soon here, it looks like. But we'll move on, because I think this is... check out this endgame. This is Rohan Das, a player that Judith and I know pretty well. Talented Scholastic player. He is playing Aditya Arutla. Tough endgame, it looks like. What do you think?
Yeah, it's about even.
And for everyone watching, round 2 of the marathon tonight is going to start at 8 p.m. So at 8 p.m. we will have round 2. When the round is over, Judith enters all the results, pairs them up, and we start at 8 p.m. promptly with round 2.
Yep, so I'm going to probably turn off my camera and mute and for probably a good 10-15 minutes, maybe a little bit more, and then come back.
Yeah.
Just so that Paul's square is a little bit filled.
The Hollywood Square,
Yeah.
Let's check out, it looks like Austin Maher's, what do you think of this position? It looks like he's putting the squeeze on Kevin Fong, Chess Appeals, but...
And Nick, you have an admirer, Arthur. Arthur really admires, you're his chess hero.
Oh, okay, thank you very much, Arthur. Although maybe you could do better for a chess hero. Try Magnus.
Try Magnus.
But that reminds us, I mean, this morning we met with the Hamburg Chess Club because we are going to be playing against them this Saturday, and apparently the contact person, you played against her, or she played against you. Ava.
I remember
He
Ava,
remembers.
yes.
Yeah.
And so she spoke so highly of you and everything. So she said that she can't believe that Nick is with us. So.
Well, I love the fact that that you're now playing these old respectable chess clubs from around the world. We can do it right from San Francisco. It's amazing.
Yeah, Nick was talking about when he was playing in like Bundesliga, like the clubs and would actually travel and take the flight to go play the other club and.
Well, we take trains,
Trains.
the whole club, and it was a weekend outing, and
you're all connected.
We'd play the whole 2 games in the weekends, and it was great fun. And you'd go see another part of Germany.
So this is an ending that will work itself. What about Elliot here? He's looking all right, but are there any cheapos that White is going to be able to?
But down in time.
Actually, he's really down in time. He's actually.
Oh, Elliot, a little trouble. Queen had to do queen 2, but pawn takes f6. Elliot, sorry, it's bad.
Was that you just hung a piece there?
Yeah.
He didn't have much choice.
Yeah. Oof.
Okay, queen. Oh, don't trade queens. So it's.
Oh, this is tough.
This is tough.
Yeah.
Judith, before you take a break, can I ask how long will Reka be at Oxford?
So I think Oxford has 8 weeks semesters. So she starts early October and stays there until early December. Then she goes back with my parents a little bit, and then we'll come back for Christmas. And back, I think, end of January. But I don't know. Honestly, we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
So Elliot in some trouble here. Yeah, Elliot's definitely resilient.
Elliot blundered. That's what I'm seeing from the mid-game report. It's no secret when we have these kind of upsets. I take a snapshot and then run the statistics so that I see whether everything is good. I'm not a good chess player, but I believe in the power of data. And that it tells us a lot of things. So actually the accuracy is almost the same between Max and Elliot. So it's very interesting.
And we know Max can bring those tactical shots to you. And Elliot resigns. And
it was Zugzwang.
So.
Wow, look at that. Yeah, literally Zugzwang.
Actually, for Max, that was, I think, your best game ever during the pandemic. Can we say that?
Yeah, and
I think it was his biggest upset.
And he was resilient because he looked like he was losing.
Yeah, he was losing
earlier. Yeah. So nice win for Max there. Let's go to Mike Walder's game as the games are winding down in round 1. Round 2 starts at 8 p.m.
And Austin Mai took the win against Kevin Fong. And Kevin, thanks for playing. Obviously, Austin too.
Yeah, Austin got the win.
So there is Alexei rooting for Mike Walder, but Mike's gotten in a little bit of trouble, playing to win with the better bishop, but he's losing the city pawn.
And Mike short on the time there. And in the other game going on, we have this position here, the knights and the pawns endgame. This one's got a lot more to go, so we'll stay on Mike Walder's game. Congrats, Austin Mai in the chat. Titan Chess 666. We were following your game too. So we asked for upsets and we got a few upsets. Can happen in round one. But
I like Alexi's comment. You know, still when you're who you're rooting for is down, you still have to cheer. You have to stick by them. You know, that's
and even in the under section, we have these upsets. We have Bruce Hedman beating Nicholas Brown, and Nick Brown is a strong player. So congratulations, Bruce. And William Kelly, unrated player, beating Prescott Yu. And Aditya Chitta, he pulled an upset over Pranav Pradeep. So you guys are making me work for my money.
Aditya, very good. Given making it so that Judith's not bored.
Yeah, I know, which is, I'm very happy to see exciting results, but it's also you know, a good TD hopefully checks on every game.
Absolutely. Vishwa Nanuganda, is that you
Trust,
in the chat?
but verify. Right?
Hmm?
Trust but verify.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Just like Ronald Reagan, right? With Gorbachev.
Was it Ronald Reagan? I didn't know.
Ronald Reagan with Gorbachev. Trust but verify, I think.
Oh.
Yeah.
I have to read up on that.
And Austin Mai was asking in the chat, the next Tuesday night marathon is going to be live at Mechanics starting June 1st. June 1st. More information on the registration coming soon, but June 1st, live at the Mechanics Institute. And we will be broadcasting also. So for those of you that enjoy just following the broadcasts and calling the games, we're going to do the same thing, except from inside the Mechanics Institute. So.
And the way we do it is with the help of Juan, we set up the DGT boards. A couple of boards from the top section and a couple of boards from the under section. I don't know how we'll sort this out for the June TNM, but basically we hook up the DGT boards and broadcast those games, and Paul and Nick and others are commentating on those games. So we won't be able to broadcast all the games because we don't have that many DGT boards. If anyone wants to sponsor the Mechanics, DGT boards for us, then we can cover an unlimited amount of games. But until we have, we only have access to a few boards, then it's good.
And Pranav Satish has offered a draw here, and Mike declined it.
Okay, fighting spirit. That centralized bishop gives you easy play. But still, a pawn is a pawn.
Pawn is a pawn, but like as we've indicated before, sometimes a stronger player will interpret that as opportunity when they offer a draw. But the position's the position. Sometimes it's like, oh, you should have taken it. Austin Mai's in the chat. He thinks Mike should have taken it. And
objectively, yes, but he's playing for cheapos. Something like, oh, he did take it.
He took it. Yeah, he took it. So
Kyron Griffith would have continued.
He would have fought on.
And hoping for cheap mates.
And here in this game, Rohan Das is pushing because his opponent's like at 6 seconds.
Oh, did you guys see that Mike Walder?
Drew, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm already inputting these to tournament software, so
Very
whenever
good.
we have the last game, we can.
We'll turn it around. Yeah.
Yep. I just closed accidentally one of the games, so let me get that back so I know when they finish.
And 20 minutes to the start of. Don't you hate when you do that?
Oh yeah.
You do it in the game chat.
Oh yeah. Because I copied. Yeah, never mind. Yeah, exactly.
20 minutes to the start of round 2 of the Tuesday night marathon, and Rohan Das is going for it. He's declining draw offers because he knows his opponent is very short on time.
Yeah, I think he could have just won the ending when his knight was on e5, but he's playing too tricky.
And sometimes white is moving too fast because they're trying to make black move fast, and that may not always be the best way.
Now the game's totally even, so
and black's still offering draw.
Yeah.
Judith, how would you feel playing with 7 seconds on your clock?
Oh, I can't handle this kind of pressure.
She would be horrified.
I would probably give it up. So.
She would resign.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to deal with the pressure. I'm terrible with like time management.
But this is like borderline, too many draw offers. I mean, I do think it's okay, but definitely something to watch out because he clearly is wanting to play this out. So.
Oh yeah, I mean, and when you have like under 10 seconds, you know, clearly your motivation for wanting the draw is.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yep.
Oh, should somehow be winning for white here. The king gets more active.
Yeah. And I like Rohan here because he didn't feel compelled to move quick. Now wait a minute here. Oh, with check.
And check, that's the game.
Yeah.
Okay, now, come on.
Queened with check.
Oh,
Hey, Mike in the check. Boom.
nice.
Nice
Okay,
job,
well,
Rohan Das. Any games still going? I'll be right back.
So, Akko just won, so that's good. So the top section is done, and I will be pairing that very soon. And we have 2 more games in the bottom section going. Shan Wu against Marina Zhao, and Sebi Meister is playing against Jonathan Distenhoff. So Sebi just won, so congratulations, Sebi. And then, so last game is Shan Wu against Marina Zhao, both under 2 minutes, a minute and something.
What's the user?
Well, it's Marina Zhao, Programming Max.
Programming Max.
Yeah, that's the easiest. And,
there we go. Wow, look at that.
And just for the record, Elliot did ask for a bye for next round, so.
Oh, that was a tough game for Elliot.
That's what happened with Elliot.
Yeah, I was talking with Elliot.
Yeah.
He logged in to the help desk.
No, with Mike Walder. So his opponent offered a draw but he didn't decline the draw offer. He was waiting to see the move, so then he accepted after that.
So if anyone wants to buy for next round, they should let me know about now, because I'm ready to pair. With Elliot's buy, it's gonna be everyone will get a game in the top section, and
yeah, and we'll see the pairing. Let's see if we get round 2 upsets.
Last game, and then the bottom section will be paired very, very soon.
What do you think of this, Nick?
You know,
even Kyron's in the chat. Very strange.
Black cannot win with that pawn on b6. Oh, well, pawn h4. Just draw now.
You can't even get through, huh?
Nobody can do anything.
Just curious, can you guys hear my kids screaming in the background?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we hear it completely. Yeah.
Only a little.
It sounds like you have him chained and locked up or something.
No, one is okay. So it's
one chained and locked up.
Chest, and not my girls who are trying their voices and everything. No, they are just arguing with each other. So okay, so the draw is noted. And
nice
I'm going
game.
to prepare for next round.
And everyone watching, I just put the link in the chat. So that's the event page. We put up the pairings and standings on that page. So if you want to take a look at what's going on, you can just click there. And then you can follow the event. And the pairings will be up very shortly for round 2, which will start in less than 15 minutes.
Yep, and basically I already paired. I had to save the files, and now I'm copy pasting into the Google Sheet. It's always oops, and I actually haven't made a new tab for the next round. So let me do that. But it's always the Google Sheet that gets updated first, just because that's faster, and I think more people are watching that.
Are looking, especially the players. And actually, let me put that in the chat, and I can put it in the chat because you can't manipulate it. Hopefully you can't.
No, you can't.
There it is, right there.
But, so I'm deleting everything, and I am copy.
Austin Mai is looking at this position like, what the heck is this? It was a draw. That's what that happened.
And I also update the standings on the first tab. We'll have the standings for you guys, and so hopefully you can see.
And pairings.
And I have to. So Elliot took the half point buy, and Rihan is the one who's getting the buy in the bottom section.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, I would actually offer him an extra game, but since I'm here with you guys, that I don't think that's such a good idea.
All right, so looking at nope, not yet. 2. Okay, wow, that is so the pairings are up. Board 1 is going to be National Master Michael Wang against Grandmaster Gadir Gusainov. Kyron Griffith is taking on Rohan Das, who just won that endgame. Akko Hidari against FIDE Master Eric Lee. Giorgio Solias against FIDE Master Max Kidazlovic. And Micro Bear Eric Hahn against Max Howe. Austin Mai, Vedant Talwalkar, Michael Walder against Shravan Sriram. And on and on and on and on. And in the under 1800, Aaron Nikoski is the top board there against Paul Krezanowski. Adam Stafford against Joshua Lamstein. Bruce Hedman against Mike Hilliard. Ivan Zong and Ethan Sun, and Sebi Suarez against Nikhil Pimpalkare. And many others. How many players in total? Looking at the standings.
We have 27 in the top section and 33 in the bottom
60.
section. We have 60.
Yeah.
So With a few free entries, we are almost at 100% payout. And as usual, I expect a few late joins for next week, maybe.
Sure, yeah. I'll get in on the action.
You know, it's very busy for the high schoolers. This is where, and all the final projects are due and finals and everything. So I can understand that some of the students are taking a break from this month. So.
And speaking of which, Nick, if you want to grab something to drink real quick before we start the round, feel free.
Okay, I think I will a couple minutes, but just the last online Tuesday night marathon before we go live. But I think it's so amazing that you two kept the chess club together during this whole pandemic, and in June we're going back to how we were. It's amazing. It's like we just didn't lose anything a whole year.
I mean, we're going to have to go back to mechanics and do some practice. Make sure the OBS is still on there all right. I mean, it was only a few months ago, I was streaming there, the Junior Congress, where I had to ask our IT person the password to log into the computers at work. Like, we forgot. It'd been so long. So, you know, so probably have to do some practice runs over there, but we will be ready to...
And I told you guys when I flew to the Spice Cup to Susan and directed there over the board in October, and the feeling of touching a clock and setting, you have done this a million times and you know how to do it. But that sudden moment is, okay, how do I set the game in 90 plus 30? I know that, and it's going to happen with us with the Tuesday night, which is usually game in 2 hours plus 5-second delay. So we are back to delays, guys, over the board. Don't forget that. Over the board, usually we did delays. Here online, we can only do increments. So it's going to be also a little bit...
Right, absolutely. And it was funny because I remember Jude and I were saying, TDs are going to have to deal with this. Like they may have forgotten how to set clocks and things that were second nature, right? So you may have to relearn a little bit, even the rules, like penalties and things like that.
Yeah, I did feel very rusty in October, just like standard rules. So. I mean, over the online games did keep us on our toes a little bit. I feel the standard rules, we are pretty experienced and fresh and everything, but some of the over-the-board rules will definitely need a little refresher. So maybe I'll take the US chess rules. Here's it. I have it always next to me.
Okay, give it
read
another.
That for evening reading.
Give it another read. Yeah.
Okay, I'll see you in a...
We'll see you in a little bit, and round 2 is going to start in about 8 minutes.
Yep,
and
I'm going to probably switch off my camera while I do this. You guys don't want to see my concentrating face. Hopefully I'll...
And in the chat, it is possible that you get white twice in a row. You just can't get it 3 times in a row.
So, Adas, who are you? Let me see.
Is that... Yeah, exactly, Alexi. Everyone wants to leave me.
Yeah. Adam, yes. So basically what happened is your opponent was both of you were black, right? Both of you have a capital B next to your name after your rating. But since he's the higher rated, he's getting the due color and you're getting the white. So it's not actually it's not a favor for you, it's a punishment for you. Because you're not getting your due color. Because he's the higher rated, he's getting his due color. Okay, so that's why you got the white twice. And same thing with Mike and Bruce. Bruce was white in the first round, I'm guessing. Let me verify that. Yes, and he's playing Mike Hilliard, who also was white Mike is the higher rated player, so he's getting the black and Bruce is getting the white. Who else here? And that's why if you take a look at the pairing sheet, I always display the due color. That little letter next to the rating, W or B, or WW or BB, and also capital or lowercase means different things as we approach round 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. That should tell you what color you should be getting. And if you're not that color, there's a reason why not. But I'm always happy to explain you guys this because I think it's important for you guys to understand and know what to expect.
And Judith likes going over the rules and explaining those.
Yeah, you see, I can blah for 2 hours about this.
You can. That is true.
Because it's not also due color, but alternating colors, right? That's also important. That's all. Then you get the. As you approach the end of the tournament, you're also getting the. You can't play your opponent twice, or you can't play someone twice. So, within the same score group, you might actually not have enough players to play with. Then the down floater, up floater issues coming up, and how that affects your due colors. So.
And I'm entering the follow commands to be ready for the start of the round. So when the games pop up on my screen too. Round 2 of the Tuesday Night Marathon starting in less than 5 minutes.
So Adam, let me tell you, we have a few more minutes. So this is a Swiss tournament. And Swiss tournament in the beginning is very easy. And actually after that too, but after that a few complications can of course alter the pairings. So basically you have one section, you order the players based on their rating. So initial rating, which is May supplemental here. Supplemental is always determined on the 3rd Wednesday of the previous month and used throughout the month, entire month. So I think it was April 17 last month, and we are using that rating for the entire May. There are two different big rating categories, online or over the board, and each category have 3 different rating systems. Regular rating system, which is gaming 30 plus or higher. Quick, which is gaming 10 and gaming 30, and then below gaming 10 is blitz rating. So this tournament takes the over the board or online regular rating, whichever is the higher one, and that's what we are taking. And we order you in the same section. In the one section, we order the players based on rating, and then basically you switch the players, right? So if you have players here, you cut it in half, and the top player is paired with the middle one, right? And the second top player is paired with the second from the middle one. The top pairing color is a coin flip usually, and then after that is alternating black and white for the higher rated players. And that's pretty.
Yep, Swiss format, exactly.
Yeah, and then the next round is actually depending on how you did last round, and if you win your game, then you paired against other who also won the game, and if you drew, then you normally get pairs against other who drew. If you're the only one, then obviously you either get paired up or down. And so basically, after the first round, each score group is treated as like a mini Swiss, right? And within the same score group, you also order the players based on their initial rating and then do it again. So it's all good. Are you guys ready to go?
Ready to roll. And welcome back, Chess Queen, joining us on the broadcast after a while.
Yep.
When you win your first game, how do you know who you will play? We post the pairings online. So we have an event page where we post everything online. Here it is. If you want to see who's playing
who. Basically, you have to take a look at who also won the first game, and then within those group, it's based on their initial rating. Okay, so.
All right, Judith has got to pair the game. So, well, she's doing it already. So. Everyone focus on Judith and you'll get the look of a professional at work in action.
Eric Lee, you're not online.
Eric, get in there.
Yeah, get in there because you're not online. And
I'm excited about this matchup with Michael Wang and Gadir because Michael is a very strong player.
Not online either, so.
So we get to shame the ones that are not online live.
Live? Is that okay?
No, that's great because they're probably watching the broadcast and like, oh my gosh, I gotta get back.
It was Eric Lee, right?
King and
Queen. And so when there's someone is missing, I just make a note that they are missing, and then I will get back to them whenever I paired both sections. So. I have to wait a little bit.
So the games are afoot here. And let's just go down and just see the openings. Kyron Griffith and Rohan Das.
Oh.
Wow, Queen's off the board already.
And a French defense, just a slight edge for white.
And I have to...
Yeah.
Let me go to that game because didn't have that up, huh? Oh yeah. And I have to go to this game because Eric Hahn played A3 on his first move against Max Howe. The Anderson opening. Is that in MCO, Nick?
Oh, it's mentioned. Yes, you gotta like that move.
The Anderson opening, A3.
Makes your opponent think.
Makes you think. He's basically saying, "You're not gonna get me, and I'm gonna prove it. I'm gonna move A3."
Okay, Eric Lee came online, so that's good. And let's see if Jonah is here. Jonah is here too. So
and
thank you guys.
Danny Rode is in the chat saying he's seen that at the Nationals. Arnold versus Staller. What's up, Danny?
Yeah. Hey, Danny, when are you going to play in the Tuesday night marathon?
Yeah, we should make him play.
June. Come out in June and play at least a round.
Yeah. And Danny, I know I owe you guys an email. I will send it very soon. Okay. In fact, I'll ask some time off from the boss, and I'll email you.
She's gonna have time off for us so she can send stuff to you guys. Can you believe that?
So I know.
Max the Axe against Giorgio Solias. Another French. What's with the French today?
I don't know. Everyone eating croissants or something.
Something, right? Something going on.
Let me check on Sabi's game because, okay, everything is good. Sometimes when the computer lags and I want to copy paste the next comment, it doesn't take. So I have the same previous match command still in store, and I accidentally copy pasted it. Chess.com should catch that and not start that game.
That
But
it's
once in a while, actually starts another game, and that depends on obviously the player setting as well. So I actually happened that with Sebi's match, so I had to abort the second game.
and then restart it. Yeah.
Well, they already had game going.
Oh, yeah. And here we have another French with Ako Hidari and Eric Lee.
Okay, and Danny got it. I will soon.
Now, there's a great question from, I think that's Ramachita. What's the farthest folks traveled to play at Mechanics? I know Limelight 2727, Arun Dixit, who played the arena, they traveled from Sacramento to play the Tuesday Night Marathon. So, all right, it's on the table. How far would you travel? I'm curious if we get like some serious out-of-towners to play the TNM for the one starting next month.
But traditionally, you've gotten people from Sacramento, from the North Bay. I mean, people come 100 miles, and
yeah,
okay, maybe a reason to come into San Francisco, but Tuesday Night Marathon, reason to be there.
Danny Road, yeah, come by summer, yes, swing by for sure. And for those that may have newly joined, the Felix German Memorial Tuesday Night Marathon starts June 1st, and it will be live at the Mechanics Institute. So live chess returns starting June 1st with our very next TNM. So this Tuesday Night Marathon online is our last Tuesday Night Marathon online. We will still have our Thursday Night Marathon, as well as other online events. We will continue doing online events. But as far as the Tuesday Night Marathon, one of the great American traditions, it's going to be back at the Mechanics Institute. You see the room right there next to the board. We will be playing inside that room as we should be with the Tuesday Night Marathon.
Yeah, except we won't squeeze in 80 players in that.
No, not yet.
We usually squeeze in 80 players. I still remember it's tight usually on Tuesdays, but not in June. We are going to follow city and state and county regulations. I think the current capacity limit is 50, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
But obviously we are going to make sure that players are comfortable, they feel safe, and can focus on the game and not worry about any of the
concerns.
Yeah, that's a good word. Thank you.
What do you think of this? I know it's early on, Nick, but what are you sensing here? All book?
Yeah, I mean, this has been seen before. Is Kadir going to do like knight f3, b5, and open things up right away? But he tends to avoid long, simplifying lines in the opening. Oof. And keeps the tension.
We have a result already in the under 1800 section. Marina Zhao, Programming Max, took care of Comfy Kesso.
Yeah, Sam got the by last round, so he obviously was paired up, and Marina had that long game with Sean, finished very last and drew. So obviously that was it is a decisive game, very fast.
And it's nice tactics. If you see what happened here, we have the exchanges, but it opened up the E file, and that led to the pin. So nice job from Marina. Learning experience for Samuel. And Rama's in chat saying he's got to practice over the board. The pieces might even feel different. Yeah, you may not know what to do with three-dimensional. It's going to throw you off.
I'm going to be back in a few minutes, okay?
Yep. And look at this position with Kyron, Griffith, and Rohan Das. They've like traded to an endgame almost here.
And bishop on b7 is not a good bishop.
And got to fix the camera here, or the names. Moved you to the bottom. Let's see here. Is this going to be one of these situations where Kyron's going to grind this down?
Yeah, somehow maybe he'll go pawn takes c3. He'll put a pawn on b4. That white knight will end up on c5. And that black bishop, it's not going anywhere.
But like he's visualizing this already. It's like if I put these pieces here, it's just going to be like a stranglehold.
Yeah, like very classic good knight against bad bishop. And just a matter of Kyron figuring out the winning plan. It's almost a dead position for black already.
And here's Max Kidazlovic playing black here.
Black likes to get into an endgame in a French defense. No, that pawn on e5 is a good attacking pawn.
Is that right? Is that right? Typically in the French, like that's a strat you want to get to the endgame. And why is that? The pawn structure, or?
Yeah, because then you can just slowly bring things over to the queen side, and you're never worse as black. But if the queens are on the board, you can get checkmated with that pawn on e5 spearheading the attack.
Interesting. Let's take a look at Eric Hahn. His a3 opening move against Max Howe. Yep, I mean a lot of players just looking forward to just over the board live play. And we're looking forward to live play at Mechanics. You know, the Tuesday night marathon's actually a perfect event for pandemic because it's one round, right? And we're not going to have to deal with where do players wait in between rounds. You know, no spectators, only the players in the room. It's really easy to manage. We are planning an over-the-board weekend event in June also. We're planning to organize the Mechanics Institute Rapid Championship as an over-the-board event. The Blitz, that's the next day, that's going to stay online. But we are planning to do the Rapid Championship live. So more information coming soon. And we plan to do a Scholastic tournament. Small one, 20-25 players at Mechanics. Some Saturday in June. So slowly but surely, live chess coming back, but the TNM, that's sort of the crown jewel of opening chess. And Visha playing the Silicon Valley over the board on the 22nd. So am I. I'm registered. That's right. I'll be there playing. Probably giving away points, but I'm coming after you guys too. So. You might be taking points away from me, but I'm trying to take them myself. Yeah, Silicon Valley Open from the San Jose Chess Club. And let me help those guys out, promote that. That is next
actually,
weekend.
Abel, who is organizing that Silicon Valley?
That is the San Jose Chess Club with and it's a couple of kids, Abhi Panagalapati and Pranav Siram. Strong players, experts. You know, like 16-year-old. Took a little initiative and made it happen. And they got some strong players playing. Not talking about myself. And there it is. Vishma beat me to it. And there it is. So I put it in the chat. For those that put it in the chat, just click on any of those links and get in on the action. But get in soon because I think they have a cap. Oh, by Mechanics, the June Tuesday Night Marathon starting in June will be live. So that's Nicholas Wang. So the next Tuesday Night Marathon in June is going to be live at Mechanics starting June 1st. We don't have the registration open yet. We're waiting just a couple of days because we have to send something to the city. But June 1st, the next Tuesday Night Marathon will be live at Mechanics. So live chess returns, and we're looking forward to it. Let's get back to our board one with Michael Wang and Grandmaster Gadir Gusayanov.
And here seems to have a pawn.
No, material's even. Unless you think he's going to win that C4 pawn.
Oh, excuse me. That white E pawn is gone. Okay, this is absolutely yeah, okay. And the black pawn structure is better. He's got one pawn chain, and that C4 pawn is a little bit of a target. Not to mention the A pawn isolated. So yeah, actually, pawn to F6. Oh, and knight B6 is probably going to win a pawn because C pawn's going to be attacked. The D pawn is loose because the C pawn's pinned. So F6. Oh, he's offering that already. Bishop takes E7. Yeah, I don't know. I'd probably take on E7 because you're in such trouble.
And this is like one of the rare occasions where Gadir is down on time compared to his opponent. Like, we never see that.
That is amazing. Michael Walder says Gadir, he'll just play quickly because he's going to play such strong moves. But if he screws up, he figures he'll come back anyway.
Yeah, right. Yeah. He can fix it.
But I'm not sure he was right to do that. Black may be able to get a draw, trying to liquidate things.
Oh, you mean
Maybe
white?
King to C2. Yeah, sorry. White may be able to get a draw, liquidating things. Pawn to F6 would have left the black pawn structure very weak. I'm sure, well, you always count on Gadir to win because somehow he does. But I know our players have given him a lot of trouble in these games and gotten some really good positions.
And Michael Wang is one of these players. I know, I mean, I've seen him play Walter Brown tough, and so I'm curious to see how this game progresses because he's capable, although I'm seeing now that rook's looking to come to E2.
Yeah, that's kind of a bad square, but maybe you just go rook to E1 first before you take on E6.
And if you haven't... Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, somehow black will win a pawn. That's true.
And let's take a look at Kyron's game as we will monitor how that plays out. It looks like White's rook has the more advantageous file.
Oh, this, what you like to play are games where your opponent can do absolutely nothing. And this is just about gotten there. See, that black bishop cannot get into the game. That black rook, it can't get to the H file. There's nothing it can do on the C file. Kyron can just sit there, pawn to b4, knight to b3, knight to c5. Maybe that white rook can come wherever he wants. And it's like he's playing by himself.
Right. And, Kyron saw all this. He's going to be the one with the ability to make moves and choices, and Black sort of has to wait.
Which is always so annoying when you just have to sit there and you just can't do anything.
And let's take a look at Mike Walder's game. And Mike Walder is playing Shravan Shriram. Mike's got black. White's king is still in the middle of the board.
Okay, so Alexei is here again. And yeah, Alexei, I think you're going to get some satisfaction this round. Looking good for Mike.
It's going to bring some joy to her life right here. Yeah, let's check on board 3 here with Max Kidazlovic and Giorgio Solias. Is this another example here where this knight looks a lot better than the bishop?
We see this position is not so static like the other one. There's pawn breaks that can happen. And also those white pawns are on the same color as the black bishop. Well, this one is not bad for black at all. Something's going to happen on the queen side. Some pawn to c5 break, or black can also take the g file. And yeah, I think I might even prefer black white position here.
We'll see how this one plays out. Let's look at Austin Mai. We haven't followed his game. He's playing Vedant Talwalkar.
The real action Benoni.
And Austin Mai, who's playing white, very, very sharp blitz player, trying to bring that sharpness to the longer time control. And you may be muted, Judith, if you're trying to talk. She may not be talking to us, though.
Hey.
There you are. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, I am. I was finishing up a quick call. And
yeah, action games. Got stuff happening. Let's go back to board 1 because there was a lot going on there. Here's the position. This looks a little wild. Michael Wang and Gadir Gusenov.
So pawn structure-wise, white should be able to make a draw. That king is out there, and
just kind of out there in the world, huh?
Yeah, Gadir could have get interested in checkmating it.
I mean, it is pretty exposed. Now the question is, can you do anything about it?
Yeah, but I like how Michael Wang played. Okay, you take that pawn, say, I'm not going to just lose by bad pawn structure, a sure long-term loss. You take the risk right here and say, well, maybe I'm going to be okay. Bishop e5 check. King to c3. Ooh. Little tricky. Yeah.
It's tricky.
All a little
and
tricky.
Still, look at the Gadir's time versus Michael's time. You never see that where Gadir's at the deficit. So he's definitely in the think tank here.
Well, Michael, we'd give you a point already if we could.
That's like worth a half point. Wow, look at this. Look at Austin. Just launched. You'll see that soon. Just launching the pawns forward in his game with Vedant.
He had to sacrifice a knight to do this.
Yeah.
But this is the action stuff. And, okay, Black's got to give back a piece, but all sorts of stuff is happening.
So, Judith, there was a lot of excitement in the chat about the San Jose Chess Club's event and
nice.
our event, live TNM. And you're gonna be a little part of that event in the San Jose Chess Club. We both are in different ways.
Yeah, you're gonna be playing, right?
I'll be playing, and she's gonna help out with the TD.
Yeah, my daughter is the chief TD. Reka is the chief TD, and I will be there as an assistant. I'm very honored that they asked us, and we are happy to help and work this event. They are doing all the organizing though, so let there be no mistake.
Oh yeah, the hustle.
And I'm very impressed with them because it's a prime example how players who have been to a lot of events, they know what are the good events. And I got a cat here. They know how the good events work, and they actually replicate those and do it themselves. And I know they have a lot of parent support. Their parents help them get the venue and sign for the venue. They are working really hard with all the measures and the floor plans and make sure that they adhere to the state and county regulations. So I'm very happy. We have probably every 2 weeks we have a little check-in how they are doing, if they need anything from me in terms of feeding decisions. I'm in contact with the office regarding the FIDE IDs, and Reka is making decisions of how she wants to post the pairings and the standings and things like that. So.
What do you think of this, Nick? Akko Hidari sacrificing a piece there, but it looks like F5.
Yeah, F5, pawn takes F6, probably has to go rook takes F6. Looks like pretty good compensation for a piece.
So action chess here by Akko Hidari against Eric Lee.
And just the last quick note on the Silicon Valley Open is that I think they have only 20 spots left. Right. I just got the email from them. So they already have 80 players, and Malik is coming. So I can't wait to see Malik. It's always so much fun. And we have a few IMs signed up. So
including good. Christopher
Yu, Josiah Sturman, Alex Katz, and Elliot Winslow. So yeah. Very, very cool.
Is Malik coming all the way up from LA?
Yep. So this new chess club, they understand the value of making an agreement with a GM and have him come up and play in their events. So I think it was a really good move from them.
What do you think of this, Nick? This is just like, we might see the White King on C5 soon.
It looks bad. Admittedly, it looks bad. But all right, Michael, I like the way you play. You had to do this, otherwise you were gonna lose a slow game. So just be brave with that king to C5, king to D4. Just hope you don't get checkmated. It's not sure you will.
You know, and it sort of seems like Adir usually, he knows exactly where the game is going. That's why he doesn't use much time in his games. But Michael took him into waters he's not used to going, because Gadir, the 18 minutes here, it's almost like Michael may have done a little bit of prep
or walked into a situation where he had experience before. So,
And that's true too. That's true
yeah.
too. I'm experiencing a little lag delay here. Hopefully, corrects itself.
Okay.
Well, Judith, I hope Oxford appreciates how much California is giving up by losing Reka. So, yeah.
Sure they are. Yeah. In fact, like you guys will laugh at this, but there's apparently an online community for chess players in Oxford or something like that, if I'm correct. And they were talking about playing an online tournament, and Rika volunteered to TD or
Yeah.
organize that. Apparently, they had no clue how a tournament is, but they still had fun. So
Yeah, I'm imagining she could be a big part of, uh, you know, the chess scene there, especially with her experience organizing and TDing.
yeah, I don't know. Let's hope, and maybe she can. Oh, Mike Hillard won his game.
Congratulations to Mike.
Yes.
Nice.
And this is certainly unexpected. And Gadir's like, what am I going to do with this king over here? It's like the king is attacking me directly. It's like marching the king down to the other side.
See that. Gadir down to 17 minutes. Just
like he's almost running out of time. And back to this game real quick. Kyron gets his rook to h7. The bishop, Black's bishop, is still sort of thrashing around there. Not a whole lot of space.
Yeah, I thought this was actually banned by the Geneva Convention, this kind of torture.
It's just slow, yeah. It's like terrible. Micro Bear and Max Howe. And we could see now why the initial A3 really provides support for the B4 pawn late in this game. What do you think of white here?
You know, now this looks like a classic Catalan gone all white's way. There was space on the queen side and stuff. So A3, B4, just brilliant strategy.
Wow. Check this out. This is Akko's game. It looks though like Akko's not going to realize what he had hoped for in this, or is he?
Wow.
What should he do? Like knight h5 or what?
Yeah, okay, that the queen is there, which causes trouble. I mean, there's no immediate mate, and it's not clear that you'll win the game, but the one you could just repeat the moves with queen h8, queen h7, but knight h5 coming, rook h3. We try knight h5. Yeah, that's a harsh move.
But is there a draw here if he wants it, right? H8 and repeat.
Yes, so he could just make it draw. Oh, well, actually, then the king might, queen h8, king f7, queen h7, the king might run away to e8.
That's right, e8, and then go to d7, yeah.
But Akko doesn't play for a draw anyway.
Wow, look at that.
He's going to go for it, knight h5 or something.
Wow, check Look at this position. This is like crazy with Michael Wang and Gadir on board 1. Yep, yep. This is the actual position of the game, folks. And black to move. It's almost like black's pieces are in white's line. White's got the king and bishop on black's side of the board. It just looks strange.
Okay, I got a request.
Yeah. Friend request?
I got a request to explain draw offers and how those work. So basically you offer your draw, you make a move, and then your opponent can decline or accept, okay? And this is over the board as well as online too.
So you got to make a move first.
Yeah.
And then offer.
Because
in Mike Walder's game, his opponent offered a draw, and it hung for a while and then made a move.
And that was because his opponent offered the draw while it was still his opponent's move.
Yes.
So Mike could sit there and wait because, like, he's going to say, what if he completely blunders, right? Making the move.
Yeah. So it was actually Mike who kindly asked me to explain. I wasn't aware of what happened in his game, so I had to read his message. But yeah, so that's why Mike is asking, so that he doesn't lose on time.
And in the moment, it's like we noticed the draw offer, but we didn't see that. Whether it was a decline or
exactly?
Not. Huh?
What happened exactly?
So his opponent offered a draw, but it was still his move.
Yeah.
And the thing is that it looked. Then we saw a move on the board, but I didn't realize that it was his opponent that had moved. So when I saw a move on the board, it looked like Mike had moved, and I thought he had declined the draw, but because his opponent had moved, the draw offer was still valid.
Mm-hmm.
And then he accepted it. He chose to accept it.
Well, declined.
Well, it wasn't. I thought it was declined.
Oh yeah, but okay, it was the other game. That's why I was confused. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, it was the other game. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's in this game here.
Yeah, no. This game.
No, it is. It is. Because
there was a draw for here too. That's why I was like confused.
Right.
But I'm guessing, yeah, it does make sense. He's talking about the last game.
Yeah. Yeah, but there was a draw for here too. You can see that.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, let's go back to this board 1 wild one here. Gadir at 12 minutes to 21. I mean, that doesn't sound like a big deal at all, but if you know Gadir, this is kind of unusual. But what do you think? Can White tuck the king away somewhere?
You certainly hope so, but yeah, it does take guts to run out with your king like that. It's leading the charge. So if the king comes back to b4, there's no real check right away. If it goes to d4, oh well, that looks like some horrible check. And if you hit the pawn on c4, Gadir must have something terrible planned, but I'm wondering what it is. King takes c4.
He took it. He just took it.
He's brave. He is brave. I like Michael's style. I'm going to follow him in the future. That's
Yeah, I had to let the cat out.
It's kind of scratching the door over there. Scratching at the door over there.
Well,
yeah, I mean,
no.
look at me. And when I had left a while ago, Lucy was flipping her bowl because she wanted to be fed, so she was flipping her bowl over. So I had to like leave and go feed her.
Yeah, my cat's doing the same. When there's no water, they start pushing it, and it's on a
right.
It's on a brick surface right in front of our fireplace.
Sure.
So it's so loud.
It's like ringing the bell. Yeah.
Yeah. It is like ringing a bell. Give me water. And I feel bad, like not giving them water or not noticing they don't have water.
And Michael Wang up a pawn here.
Ah.
King and smack in the middle of the board, but can Gadir do anything about it?
He's thinking. That time is ticking. So he hadn't planned a refutation of it. Will he find something? Well, it's, okay. He'll probably take a few minutes here. It's a very critical situation.
Yeah.
Especially if you want to win.
And the bishops are opposite color, and
that bishop on e5 guards the b8 square, so helps keep the white king safe.
Yeah, prevents rook checks over there. Yeah. Let's check on Kyron's knight versus Rohan Das's bishop. And when we were looking at that game initially, you were just saying that at the end of the day, that black bishop is not going to have any kind of movement. The knight's going to sort of dominate where everything goes. And here we are in this position.
Well, I'm afraid that f7 pawn is gone.
That's gone. The knight's going to get to d6 and just force the issue on.
And then probably the knight will go from f7 to h8 and take the g6 pawn. It's in a way I would like to see the game go longer because it's sort of a pleasure to see the white side move. But yeah, he might do himself a favor and give up.
Yeah, this was as methodical a game as it gets.
And for those of us who are watching this, if you want to play, but not the Tuesday night because it's too fast for you, or you don't want to play 2 games a night, we have the Thursday night marathons, which is 5 rounds, game in 60 plus 5-second increment, and we are starting this Thursday and going into early June. So you can join that tournament, go to our website, milibrary.org/chess, and click on the Thursday night marathon, sign up. And I'm pretty sure Gadir will play in that too. So.
Yeah, he'll play. He did register for the Thursday, so he's in.
Okay.
And here's Ako Hidari trying to see if he can convert something, but he's got to activate the rooks.
Yes, probably he needs to castle long.
Yeah. Do you think Ako has enough time to bring his pieces in before Eric mobilizes his to defend?
Well, the thing is, the material is not too unequal here. A rook and pawn for the 2 bishops. And maybe he'll get the h6 pawn. So, that check, a bishop g7. I would really hate to lose that b2 pawn with white.
Oh, yeah.
That just causes a lot of trouble. You lose the C3 square and
because then sort of
pieces
castling long doesn't look as choice, right?
Yeah, I wanted to do that as a defensive move to guard the B2 square. Yeah, I don't like taking that H6 pawn.
So Judith and I are taking a FIDE hybrid arbiter seminar this week. What do you think of it so far, Judith?
The seminar?
The seminar, yeah.
I think it's pretty good that FIDE is offering these. I think it's very important, and I'm hoping that a lot of organizers will get a lot of good ideas and suggestions and best practices. So certainly a very nice feature, and it would be a really good thing to see. Maybe if US Chess wants to do this sort of the same and have a certification system. So we'll see.
I was kind of shocked. I know you already probably knew about it from your experience with different organizers, but the number of online platforms that are available to play chess on, to use. I had no idea there were that many. I thought there were, 5 or 6 are the ones most people know, right? Lead Chess, ChessKid, Chess.com, ICC, Tornello, but every country's got like their own system.
Yeah, there are other countries out there. So. In Europe, where there are smart people.
Yeah,
can build
they can do things, make things happen.
Yeah.
All right, Nick, you're gonna have to break this one down.
Okay, how to be safe. Now it's Michael who has to do thinking. Kadir spent some time trying to corral that king. Pretty good job. That both rooks, bishop, and knight trying to get it. King to b4 is knight to b6. Doing it. Yes, actually, king to b4. Where's the checkmate? It's knight 2. It's very crazy position. Really crazy. This is going to be high entertainment, and it's possible we see an upset in the first round, which would be phenomenal.
Sebi's in the chat saying that he's watching while he's doing homework. What better thing to do, right? You got especially a game like this, right? There's like action chess going, doing your homework casually, listening to us just rap about chess. Intense game. Let's do a quick check-in on Micro Bear won his game against Max Howe. Oh, look at this. Look at that. Look at that shot. He's gonna grab the exchange there, right?
Well, he's up in the end game
anyway. Yeah.
By 2 pawns. Yeah, that's basically hopeless.
So nice, nice win.
For those of you who are watching us, not only the Thursday night marathon starting this week, but also we are going to have our monthly blitz Saturday evening. So that's a fun auto tournament. So sign up. We usually do get a good 20, 30 players. So we have a decent amount of prize fund, so
And
those
we have
are-
strong players turn out for that.
yeah,
Strong
and usually
players.
our regulars coming out. So
And I put the link in the chat if you are inclined. It's online.
minute.
Strong players turn out. Kyron Griffith wore Rohan Das down in his game. So Kyron Griffith 2-0, Micro Bear 2-0. Let's stay on board one because this is
Austin Miser rook up.
Okay.
Thing to be for Gadir down to 7.5 minutes. Where's the beef?
I just think that Gadir has been spending a lot of time trying to find it. I think it just may not be there.
Don't see it. I say that bishop on c2 is attacked. So
I will be right back in numbers.
And Max How's in the chat. He's trying to recover from the fact that he lost to the Anderson opening A3 on the first move.
hey, it's not a bad move.
The psychological damage.
Not a bad move. Don't worry yourself. Okay, that's tricky, Gadir. Knight takes c2, rook b7 check. King takes knight on a4, rook a8 mate. So
so there's trickery.
Michael Wang has to think, but it's still like rook on a to c1, rook b7 check, knight b5. It looks like he ought to be able to defend.
So Max Howe, Kyron Griffith is in the chat, and he basically says you're in good company because the game link he put in there is due to defeating Jeffries Young with a3 as the first move. So you're not alone. You're not alone.
Okay. It's nice. This is like a group therapy session after the game.
It's like, yeah, we have each other to lean on.
Oh, Gadir is being tricky. Rook a to c1, maybe knight, black knight to c3.
So is the idea that like Gadir is trying to see, all right, let's see if Michael can see the threats.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's even if it's not checkmate, Gadir will do his best. So he's been as tricky as he can, and Michael is presented with a big challenge. And it may be he's got a winning continuation. It's on the edge.
Living on the edge, for sure. And now Michael Wang definitely using his time. And it's good that he built up time to use for this critical position.
Yeah, this is absolutely the moment to use your time. Game will probably be decided in the next 3 moves.
Just doing a quick peek. I'm going to Max Kidazlovic's game against Giorgio Solias. And remember when we were looking at this before, you did like Black's position a little better. And Black's got the bishop.
2, 4, 5 pawns are even for the moment. Knight c5, so you can do bishop e3 check and take the knight on c5. That's probably necessary.
You have to prevent mate, right?
And still, black should be better there.
Mm-hmm. Looks like black's rooks are in a good position. And going back to board one, as we have some moves played.
Oh, knight b5. Now, what is happening here?
It's crazy.
The knight c3 doesn't work. 5 on the knight. Well, that looks very worrisome.
What, knight b5?
Well, rook on c8 to c5, attacking the knight on b5. What's going to happen there? Maybe you go rook takes c2. Gadir just ignored it. Knight d3 check. So rook takes d3, knight d3 check. Looks like an ouch. Yeah. And what else is going to, if rook to e3, ooh. Yeah, why not rook to e3? Knight d3 is not allowed. Just take it. Yeah, crazy game. Crazy game.
Rook e3, says Kyron Griffith. Yeah, says it's the only move.
Yes, he's going rook e3, knight to d3, rook takes e3, rook takes b5, back, king takes b5, d3, check, and win the rook on c1. So that doesn't seem to work. You have to rook e3, knight d3, rook takes d3, rook b5, check.
And
I don't know where else you go.
Well,
so rook e3 is not a good move. You have to do something else. What is the question?
and Kyron, rook e3, knight d3, rook d3, rook b5, king b5, bishop d3. And here we go.
Oh no, not rook e3. You should have stopped and thought, Michael. Oh, this just doesn't work. You rushed it. You had more time. Should have tried something like a4 instead of rook e3 or some other move. Bishop c7. Just looks lost. So wonderful sort of weaving position by Gadir to find the continuations that won for him. It's very complicated. I think one can spend a lot of time on the position a few moves ago. What Michael chose just didn't work.
And that's
very nicely done.
And that's sort of his professionalism, because he used time, he used time when we're not used to seeing him use a whole bunch of time. But he knew there was something that needed calculation.
Yeah, there were different things to do, especially going back one move, two moves. It was a very interesting game.
And Mike Walder gets the win. Actually, a very nice looking position, final position there. So kudos to Mike getting the win. And just a real quick check-in. This is Akko Hidari and Eric Lee.
Oh, that was a great game. So what's happening here?
Akko under 2 minutes, though.
So he has a rook and two pawns for the two bishops. This is not worse for white.
And going back, we see the result of what happened. So here we go, just so that players can see. Take, boom, check. And relieved him of the rook. And Michael Wang looks like he pushed Gadir to the edge, but looks like he might come up just short. And that would be an interesting game to take a look at of what could have been possible. Because
oh, absolutely, just terrific game, and we'll analyze that for the newsletter, I think.
And let's stay with, and Gadir does get the win. What a game that was! That was a fun one to follow for sure. Let's go to Akko Hidari and see how this game develops, because Akko is got 1:50 left on his clock. Eric Lee's got 10 minutes. How does this look to you?
You know, it's kind of nice that the white pawn structure is very solid. You can keep it that way. Yeah, maybe pawn to f4 and you'll still have a knight to g5 move. So still white is at least equal, but low on time. You can't allow those black bishops to become active.
I think the thing to look at too is Eric Lee's precision versus Akko's being low on time. Will that take hold?
Yeah, he should have gone pawn to f4 first. Now the f pawn is loose. Black wanted to move that knight anyway. That'd go just back to f6.
And Nick, look at this position with Solias and Max Kidazlovic. How's this endgame?
Okay, so even pawns, but still worry about that advance past e pawn.
That is a pass pawn.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, white should be able to draw the game, but black, got the threat with the pass pawn.
And white would have to figure this out against a strong player with 1.5 minutes left on the clock, which is no easy task.
He has to play king to c4, bring that king into play.
games are getting to that critical moment where one player or both players are going to be low on time.
This to me is strange that Black is thinking. Well, maybe rook to g5 is also pretty good. But number one rule in endgames, get your king into play.
And let's look at the top of board one in the under 1800. Aaron Nikoski. This is the position against Paul Krasnowski.
Bishop's really stuck on f8. Don't know if you had to rush that one. Looks winning anyway for white, but oh no, it's
this looks like it could be difficult, right? Or at least not simple.
Could have made it a lot easier by bringing the white king up first. Now there's those passed pawns.
And let me go back to this game because I'm curious how this plays out. Max did not defend the d5 pawn. He just pushed to d3.
Now, if the rook takes the pawn check in c4, rook back to d8, d4. Rook to d4 because you cannot trade into the pawn ending. That's the black pawn with queen. Very nice, very nice.
And you know that the king can hide behind the white pawn, right? To avoid checks.
Yeah, white needs to check.
But can't black go king b3 and then a2 and then hide behind?
Yeah, it's the white rook probably has to come back to c1, but
you're gonna lose.
Lose the rook. Nicely done.
Nice game by Max right there.
Yes.
That's how you do it. That's yeah, very cool. All right, the other big game we're following is Akko Hidari trying to hang on to his advantage, but he's down to 30 seconds. Yeah, we peeked at your game here and there. We didn't give it as much attention as it deserved, Austin Mai. So we apologize for that. But just for you, because you're still hanging out with us, this is your ending. Yeah, that was already known there on that mate, but you had been up all that material like the longest time already. But there's
when you went to rook up Austin,
look at that tactical shot right there. Boom, rook e8. So yeah, there we go. So there you have it. Nice job, Austin. All right, 30 seconds for Akko Hidari.
Yeah, I mean, fine for white, but 30 seconds, tough to play this. Knight F5.
I can't imagine having to like be white and figure out, okay, what do I need to do here with 30 seconds left against Eric Lee.
Yes, because it takes a lot of time to
Scary.
slowly move forward.
And we're going to see Akko having to rush out some moves. It's just that he's going to have to make sure he doesn't make that one little slip up that Eric's waiting for.
Yes. Bishop G7 will get a little tricky on that diagonal.
Now, what can Black play to really complicate things?
Yeah, if White is careful, that's not easy at all. But okay.
So speed Gonzaga. I mean, Jonah Bush.
One?
Yes, so Swan against Jonah Bush. Jonah did not have a good day.
Did not have a good day, yeah.
It seems that he did blunder.
Sauce strong though.
Yeah.
And playing more. He's been playing online a little more in the last few weeks. Wow, there's the two bishops now.
Yes, when that black bishop gets to F5, then all those white pawns are kind of useless.
And it just did.
So it's taking a bad turn for Akko. It's so hard to play with 30 seconds. And seems he's lost the exchange.
Oh, that rook is stuck. Yeah. Yeah, it's just tough.
Aditya Arutla won against Jeffrey Wang as well. So this is the last game, Akko and Eric in this section. Interestingly, the under section is still.
Look at this position, the top board and the under.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Wins the game.
Should have gone to G1.
Yeah, it's a better try, but it wouldn't have worked.
Yep, and there it is. Aaron Nikoski. Oh! Oh, how funny!
Hey.
I was gonna say, I think he's not seeing the mate, but he got it done. He got it done. Back to Eric's game.
And how did Mike Hilliard do in his second game?
Yeah, you know Judith?
Was that?
I think he won, right? Mike Hilliard?
Mike Hilliard, yes, he won. He beat Bruce Hedman.
Wow. 2-0?
2-0, yeah. I think those lessons that he's taking with the guys are playing off. There's a turn of events in the Ivan game too.
Yeah, I was noticing that.
So
SF Deals, who finished his game super early in the first round, is one of the last games now in the second round.
yeah.
And a big win
So,
against Ivan Zong.
a little bit of save for Ethan.
Because he was down earlier.
Yeah, he was.
Is this the last game in
That
the...
is the last game, Akko's game. So meanwhile, I'm updating. This is when I usually update the tournament for you guys so that immediately you can see the results. And then
That is it.
he won this set.
Eric Lee perseveres and gets the win against Akko Hidari. Nice guts in sacrificing to give him some problems, but Eric Lee hung on, defended well, and got the win. And that is a wrap for the games of round 2.
Yes, and I am already inputted.
SF Deals. Yeah, we were watching. We saw the ending there. So nice comeback, SF Deals.
Yeah.
And the standings will be updated soon when they are.
Where do you usually watch the Google Sheet or?
I usually go to the page, the event page.
So I'm going to post it there too. Okay.
Thank you. So you can go there, and why don't we do the same? Might as well. I'm gonna go there, and I'll fix the screen so we can see the standings. I will wait for them to be ready to go. I'll just
Yep. And I'm opening up the page right now. It's already posted in the Google Sheet, guys.
and so let me put it here for all of us to see. I'll make it little. There we go.
It's weird formatting.
And yeah, it looks a little different, huh?
Now it's better. So, okay, now try to reload it. Please. Hopefully it will help.
Let's reload it. Boom.
Is it better?
Yeah, let me just fix the what I'm looking at here so that you can all see the same. There. Make this bigger. And there we go. So there you see the first couple of rounds. If you can see
and
it.
So we can see that we have 2, 4, 6 perfect score. So normally we would want to see Gadir with Max, but probably both of them are due white, and Eric Lee is due white as well, if I see it right. And then so 3 of these are due white and 3 of these are due black. So probably Gadir will not get Max because Max is due white as well. And color adjustments probably going to take Eric.
All tough players there with 2 out of 2. And then scrolling down to the under 1800. Aaron Nikoski stays on top, and we got Joshua Lamstein, Ethan Sun, Mike Hilliard, Sebi Suarez, and Aditya Chida, and William Kelly with 2 points.
Yeah, so here, of course, again, we have 7 actually. So we take the top 6, and probably William will be William should be the down floater, although maybe due to color allocation, it might not be a case. We'll have to see. Or actually, unrated should probably not down float. So let's see.
And let me take out the chessboard there so that it's just us as we get ready to sign off for the day. There we go. And thanks, Judith, for hanging out with us and calling the action for tonight. And thanks, Nick, for providing some context for some pretty dramatic games, especially that one between Michael Wang and Gadir. Definitely be covering that in the newsletter this week. So.
Oh yeah, this was fun as always.
Look forward to that. And
we can't believe we're lucky to have you as a commentator and as a Grandmaster in residence. I know it makes a lot of people jealous.
Hey Judith, it's great to have you in the commentary, and I can't believe you do the pairings and the comments at the same time.
Yeah, she was talking about, and then all of a sudden the games are popping up. I'm like, oh my God, she's starting the games and talking like at the same time.
Yeah, and I didn't make a mistake, but I caught it. And I felt bad. Oh, I shouldn't be doing this because I'm making mistakes.
And Paul will be back next week. So we will.
Yeah, Paul, we're thinking of you. Hope you feel better soon.
Yeah. And like we said before, live chess back at the Mechanics Institute starting at the beginning of June with our next TNM. So, and we will continue to stream that as we had done in the past. So, a lot of things to be excited about. This, our final Tuesday night marathon online. So it's kind of exciting to, finish doing this. But the Thursday night marathon, that will continue on, as will online chess as part of the Mechanics Institute. So we're going to have the best of both worlds at Mechanics, live and online. And looking forward to everything that's coming in the next few months. So, all right. Let's see who is on line right now. Anyone we can throw some support to before we sign off? What about the Chess Dojo? Let's give it back. They got the practice training group going. How about Christian Kurilla? Let's send him to Christian. He's streaming. The Count live, a very good friend of ours, Grandmaster Christian Kurilla. So enjoy his show, and we will see you this Saturday as we cover the Mechanics Institute versus the Hamburg Chess Club. 10 a.m. is the start time for that match. So join us, and if you're following us, you'll get notified. So, but you'll hear a lot more of it because we will be reminding you of it. So thank you everyone for watching, and we will see you soon. Bye everyone.